All right, we are live on Adobe Radio. Welcome. Every Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, this is another episode of Wesam's World. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Wesam's World. We're also on YouTube, Spotify, everywhere you listen to podcasts. But you can always listen to us live here on Adobe Radio. Today, return guest, co-founder of The Prep, Theresa Pittius. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
You are so welcome. Thank you so much for having me back.
Okay, now with that we got the intro out of the way, I can relax a little bit.
Okay, good. That was a really good intro.
Thank you so much.
Really good.
I've been trying better at it because there's a certain balance of, hosty element to it, but you have to still have that energy, you know?
Yeah, you should act.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm thinking about it.
A little bit.
Let's see if I do good or not. Okay, you just came back from an all-day workshop.
Yes.
And your energy is still top notch. But seriously, what do you do? What do you supplement? What do you drink? Because you're one of the hardest working people I know.
Oh my goodness.
You're consistently posting, you're consistently coaching, you're consistently growing your business. And by the way, congrats on the New York City location.
Thank you so much. Yes. Sick. Yeah, we have this beautiful my business partner, Jesse Clayton, and I opened a New York studio. We opened a 3,000 square foot facility in Flatiron, and it's gorgeous, and we're obsessed. It has 10 self-tape studios, a huge group room, like other group rooms in there. Like people can just rent it out. Like if you're in town working and you have like an emergency Zoom audition or a producer callback or whatever it is. And it's like, oh, I can just go to the Prep for $35 for the hour. And
that is a deal.
Yeah.
$35 for an hour?
I know.
Are you trying to make a profit or
we
oh my
love
God.
Our people. It's like, you know what? Like, why would we rip them off? Like everybody trains so hard and they work so hard, and it's like,
That's a great deal. So big round of applause for the Prep. I think that's amazing.
So Prep NY, it's happening, and we're going hard. It's awesome. We're having a blast.
And the Prep New Jersey still going on.
Yes, we actually expanded. So we have 6,000 square feet there now. And guess what's going to be across the street in 3 years?
I'm going to guess maybe like a big studio.
$1 billion Netflix, like basically like a Warner Brothers lot, but in Jersey. $1 billion. They're going to be filming 12 different TV shows and films across the street from our studio.
Primo location.
Insane.
That's great.
Insane.
Now, okay. Because right now production is down 40% about, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Where do you see, because this is one of the things I wanted to bring you on, you have a good eye of where the business is going, where it's currently at. What kind of TV shows, what kind of movies do you see it going into in the next fall, into spring, into next year's fall?
Well, I did get word from some of my rep friends who I hung out with last night, because I love coming to LA because I get to hang out with my rep friends who I never get to see. And I did get word, the latest is, obviously Survive Till 2025. Have you heard that?
No.
Oh, Lord.
Survive Till 2025.
Yeah, it's just an awful, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said it, but yeah.
No, I like it. Why?
No,
I like that.
Okay, good. Or it's a positive thing.
Yeah.
It's just basically like everyone needs to just buckle up and still hang on, right? Don't give up now. Just keep going. We're good. And things are going to be okay next year. But we are looking at a good fall episodic season. So we will see some good stuff for people coming in. My big thing for everyone is, I think we're kind of sick of the cheesy content. I think we're kind of over, when the writer's strike was happening, obviously the writers weren't getting paid what they should have been. So if you're sitting on, a beautiful script, are you going to really, give that away for pennies? No, you're going to hold on to that and wait for that. So I think people have been waiting on stuff. I'm seeing some really beautiful writing coming in for indie features right now, which is very, very cool for a lot of really cool projects. But I would say, I think what's going to be happening is we're going to see this really crazy cool revolution of indie filmmakers, people who are making new television, low budget television projects are coming up. And there's some really good writing, and it's exciting. Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more of that. I'm seeing a lot of real talent booking now. It's not so much like the influencers as much as it was last year. I'm seeing some really, really like good positive feedback on like great talent and great reads are actually getting recognized, which is nice. I think people are kind of like sick of what's been going on and want good content and great performances, and we don't want to be like acted at anymore. We want to just kind of like be able to think for ourselves as an audience. I think the dumbing down of the American audience is pretty real now. I think everyone's really feeling it, and everyone just wants to like actually maybe think for themselves when they watch a TV show or a movie now.
Yeah, I think it's short-lived.
Yeah.
The influencer who's not really serious about the craft or that kind of thing. It's short-term. It's short-term, and when it started at its height, especially, I could see it. I'm like, cool. This feels like a one-trick pony.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah.
100%. It's like, cool, you can do this, but if you're not serious about the craft, then it just falls apart. I'm not going to mention any names, but I've worked on shows where actors have booked series regulars or like really huge parts, and this is like one of their first things, and they continue on for season and season of the show, and then after that, it's like they've never really trained even or continued to grow their craft during the show or afterwards, and it's like, well, there you go.
Yeah, and that's what you're gonna do forever unless you work on yourself.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of work, a lot of work. That's it. That's the show. Thank you for tuning in.
The end.
I missed you, Theresa.
I miss you too. It's so nice to be back.
I like the in-person so
yeah,
much.
me too. It's
so
good
much.
stuff.
How are the workshops? Tell me about them.
Oh, the workshops are great. So I'm teaching 12 classes in 6 days. I'm here for like 2 weeks this time. So I did make some downtime, but unfortunately, downtime ends up being self-tape coaching and like emergency here and there and all that stuff, which is cool. I love it. I'm happy when my people are busy. So it's a very exciting time when that's happening. So the workshops are, today's workshop was super fun. We had our kids, our advanced kids in the LA area came out, our advanced kids and tweens. We had probably 24 come in. It was awesome. All the kids are working professionally, and then we mix them in with some kids that have been training with us who like are at that level where it's like it's almost time for them, and like we really want to elevate their training, so they come in and work with like the kids who are on the pro track level. So that was really fun. I co-taught that with our prep coaches Tori Khalil, who's here in LA.
She's great.
Love her. Love Tori. And Ilana Bohm, who came out from Jersey to come teach and is so awesome. And then right after that, I taught my advanced. I do a crossover class. I think I told you. Did I ever tell you about this? I mix up ages 13 to 28 in a crossover class. So it's advanced teens and young adults.
That's great.
Because 18 and up to play teen, I have 28-year-olds playing 16-year-olds on Disney shows right now. Right?
Yeah.
They need to see what it's like to really like be around 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds and read with them. And also the teenagers need to see what the young adults are doing, and it inspires them. So everybody learns from each other. It's awesome experience. So I just taught for about 12 hours straight and came here.
That's awesome.
Running on adrenaline.
I want to say I really like this crossover class, and one aspect I really like that parallels actually with jiu-jitsu. Surprise, I'm making another jiu-jitsu parallel.
How did I know this is going to come up somewhere in this conversation?
Always.
Next is going to be Japan.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Epic.
How's the coffee?
Yeah.
Coffee's great.
It's good.
I love that my producers roast me.
Yeah.
Keeps things balanced.
It's great. You guys are great.
The idea of having like someone who's 13, 14 working with a young adult, and they're like 20, 21, I feel like that there's natural mentorship that happens in the moment of the work that's beautiful, that's needed, because you see these older generations, and even for me, when I saw like the older kids in drama class who were so good, I'm like, oh, I want to be like that.
Yeah.
And there's a young man, I think he's like 15 or 16, or kid, I guess you could say kid, 15, 16 in jiu-jitsu, and he's rolling with all of us adults, and you see everybody take him under the wing. I mean,
it's so cool.
And when that kid's like 20, 21, he's going to be an absolute beast.
Sick.
Because he has all these like grown adults helping him, mentoring him, and like inspiring him to keep at it and everything. So that's awesome that you do that with these crossover classes.
Yeah.
How many students usually in the class? Because a lot of people feel sometimes when they go into one of these workshops, they feel there's too many or anything like that. So what's like usually the cap?
I would say we usually do, when it's kids, we try to keep it like a dozen to 2 dozen, depending on how many instructors. So there were 3 instructors today.
Oh, wow.
So everyone gets their time.
Oh, yeah.
And the class was from 10 to 1. So they get really good amount of time, yeah. And also with my adult classes, like in New York or LA, I always like to have do about 8 scenes in 4 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's spread out with like an hour lecture or a half-hour lecture, depending.
That's
and
great.
yeah, every class is so different.
8 scenes for 4 hours. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
Well, but no, seriously, how do you keep going? Because because I find it incredible. I was actually talking with, I think, Alex today. I'm gonna go get blood work just because I haven't had a checkup in a while, and I've been supplementing and then doing that to keep my energy up. And I noticed for myself, I've been working out in the mornings lately, and I want to change that up. I want to go back to morning workouts. I feel like I have more energy.
Cool.
So what do you do?
Well, I've done 2 soul cycles since I got here. I love
Today?
Not today.
Oh,
no.
I was like, oh my God.
Yesterday morning and the night before,
Okay.
I did Soul Cycle in WeHo. And that just like, God, it just like clears me out, like visual, like my brain just gets so clear after that. It's just like balances. And if it's a really good instructor, you just get so hyped up after class. But honestly, like watching people grow just hypes me up. Like it just keeps me going. It's just like watching the progress and seeing the work and like the commitment of everyone. It just like, it's awesome.
Yeah, when you're in it.
Yeah.
I feel it.
Like making magic. I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How are we on the commercial break?
I was so in it. I was just so in it. I do that all the time. I'm way too invested.
Audience member. Token audience member.
I knew it. I felt it. I could feel her in it. We're talking about Spidey senses, and I'm
Spidey
like,
senses all
I'm like,
day.
she's too into it. She's missed it. I know we've missed it. We've gone past the 10-minute mark. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Hilarious.
And we're back. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, we're good. I'll get it. I'll get the next one.
I love it.
Oh my gosh. Whew. Okay. It's so funny. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it, but hopefully West Coast branch at some point in the future.
Prep LA. Yeah,
Maybe.
Say so. I got your email about that space. I think we're going to go look at it on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool for renting and that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah, for renting.
Yeah.
I think right now, with the way that the industry is, it is like, I think it would be absolutely obscene to like open a Prep LA like this year.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of early next year.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, and
not?
I love the space we rent now. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
But it's in a horrifying area. So I need to like maybe not have a space there. It just gets scarier every time. I'm like, is there an adult anywhere? Like, what is happening in this town? There's no one in charge. Like, it's just crazy to watch. Like, honestly, it's insane to watch.
I growing up like in high school or college even, I would have never expected a big city like in the States to be like this.
It's like Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially that it's downtown LA for those wondering.
Yeah, those of you wondering.
Yeah,
yes,
it's like literally
that's
next to
right.
Skid Row.
Yeah, it literally is, but it's such a cool space. I don't care.
It really is. But that's downtown LA.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just terrifying. There's certain streets that I'm ready to run a red light and looking at, all over the windows, making sure there's nothing going on. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's LA. It's wonderful.
Yeah. LA's a good time, man. I love experiencing LA like in different ways when I come here. It's just like I always stay in a different Airbnb in like a different neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right now I got a house in Culver City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but also I thought it was Mid-City, but then everyone in LA was like, what is Mid-City? And I'm like, it's on the map. No one's looking at maps here? It's like you guys like, I don't know, it's almost like you people don't pay attention to actual like direction. It's just, it's chaos
It's bubbles.
everywhere. Yeah.
It's bubbles. Like I stay in my bubble. And if I
Got you.
leave my bubble, like for instance, I'm shooting the morning show in the Sony lot
Yeah.
in Culver City. And I'm like, oh yeah, Venice is nice. That area, not Venice Beach, but like Venice area, And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, Culver City, okay.
Yeah.
There's some nice places here. But that's it.
It's unbelievable. And nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense driving here at all. It's just, Manhattan's a grid. So you're like, okay, great. 21st Street, 20.
I think we've talked about this before. We're opposites when it comes to New York City.
Oh, are we?
Oh, we don't
Well,
know.
I don't have a short-term memory. So
That's okay.
I would
That's
not
okay.
remember.
Yeah, I can't do New York City. If I'm working there, that's fine. But like, I would.
No,
never live
why?
Teresa.
What?
Teresa. First of all, too many people. Have you ever just sat? I mean, you're on Jersey. You don't see the buildings, and you
It's a
go.
lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
And I live in LA, so I'm kind of a hypocrite.
Yeah.
But even in LA, I'm like, that's too many people.
Yeah.
No, I think I've just I want land. I want forest.
Yeah.
I want mountain. I've changed.
Good for you.
I've changed.
Get a
I'm an old
ranch, man. Get a bunch of horses. Call it a day.
Oh my gosh, I'm dreaming about that. I'm dreaming about the day I can wake up and feed my sheep and my chickens and make sure my
I'm
horse
here
is
for it.
okay. Check on my tomatoes. Oof.
God, I wish that for you one day. Do your jujitsu on top of a mountain somewhere.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
is this sensory work with you?
Leaving? Are we done?
I
Are
think
you
we're
retiring after this interview?
Are you?
Sensory work, yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about sensory work because I still have
Yes.
yet to experience it firsthand.
Oh
So
my gosh.
I was wondering, and I know this is a little bit of a surprise.
Yes.
Is there something we could give people a little bit of a taste of it, or is that something you want to keep secret
Well,
for like a booking? And then it's fine if it is.
Yeah,
I want to be
yeah.
respectful of that. but
everybody's very different.
Yeah.
I don't just do sensory work with anyone. Like you have to be working for like a while. Like I
Ooh.
have to really know someone to like, do sensory work with them because it's really personal. And we talk about like whatever blockages you have. Like if you're feeling like you can't. I just had a guy recently last week who I've been working with him for a while now, like probably like half a year. And he finally like said to me, he's like, I really want to be able to feel deep rage because he's such a nice person. He's a nice, kind, like gentle person. And he was like, I want to be able to feel deep rage. And I was like, okay, let's do it. Right. So we go into like deep meditation. It's all breath work based. And just kind of releasing tension all throughout the body through the breath work. And then the mind and the body and the breath just kind of connect and this magic happens and you find where you're holding certain emotions in the body and like where if you start thinking about certain things, like certain memories, right? Deep in your memory work, your body reacts and you just go to where that feeling is.
I love that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I love the breath work being a gateway
Yeah.
into somebody's self-awareness and the aspect of memories as well.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that can get actually kind of scary then for
It's
some people.
Pretty amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm very picky with who I do it with because it's like some people actually do it to like tap into trauma and try to like release some things that they're holding, some toxicity they're holding from people who are, kind of like energy they're holding from other people and just kind of like release it through like a scream or a yell, sobbing. It gets pretty emotional and it's afterwards it's beautiful. Like everybody gets a different experience from it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did you develop this?
So it's so interesting. I started doing it 2 years ago with my students, and it was one of my female adults had some really intense trauma that she was just trying to like release, and she was like, I just want to just go in a room and scream. And I was like, okay, let's explore this. So I just kind of did it, and it was so effective and like just changed her life. She's like a completely different person after. And another one of my adults, like afterwards, she was just like tears streaming down her face and makeup all over the place. She's just like, if we don't feel like this and allow our bodies to feel this deeply every time, then what are we doing this for? And her work's insane. It's just gorgeous. Like it's just really for people who like really want to work on themselves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I always think the same thing. Like, nobody's gonna fault you ever for going that deep into the work. You went too deep with the work. That's why we didn't hire you. It's like, what? It's always good. I feel like to go into those deep waters, and if they need to like adjust or pull back, quote unquote, then they can do that. I feel like it's always harder to get somebody to that place.
Yeah. Well, when they're in a safe space and they feel, comfortable exploring that because someone else is there with them, like guiding them through that and is there for them, like in case, they feel unhinged. It's, we talk it out after too. So it's like a whole experience. If you want to do sensory work while I'm here, we can.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see, yeah. How
If
long are you here
feel
for?
like- I'm here till August 4th.
Okay, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's check my shooting schedule. It changes constantly, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Here's something I wanted to ask you, because I've noticed that in a lot of young adult actors, ranges ages like 20s, early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
How does a young actor overcome a lack of confidence?
Finding value in your work, finding self-worth, really working on yourself, right? So like, if you're lacking confidence, where is that coming from? Finding out where that's coming from. Like, who's saying what to you? Who's around you in your daily life? What are you not digging deeper in your work, where you feel proud of your work when you're done? A lack of confidence can come from many things. It can, stems from childhood, because that's where we start that stuff. But it's also, if you're someone who has like just been reading Co-Star, you only get Co-Star. Not that Co-Star is a bad thing. Co-Star's a great start. It's a really important thing. But if you're someone who's just getting, Co-Star, like drug dealers, gang guy getting shot, your self-worth can kind of be down every now and then. But I have a phenomenal actor who I work with in New York who had that situation happening, and he was like, he invested in himself, and we did this acting reel clip for him, where we wrote him as a lead in a really sick, beautiful 3-minute short clip for his acting reel, where he played this incredible American soldier interviewing a Holocaust survivor, and it was a really beautiful scene. And since then, he has found so much worth in his work and is getting requested for leads and features now.
Yeah. Let's go.
You find confidence in developing your craft, and you're not going to find confidence in faking it. You're going to find value in your work by really working on yourself and investing in yourself.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, the other side of that.
Yeah.
How do we stop ourselves from becoming too confident?
Oh, too confident. Yes,
And
the delusional confident
Yes.
LA actors.
Because
Yes.
there's a good handful of them where I was like, oh, where is this coming from? Like,
Yeah.
I think you're too far this way now.
Mm.
What's going on? How do you stop yourself from going there?
Those are people who have never been told that they need to work on themselves. So they think that everything they're doing is great. And they think that they know everything because they've trained everywhere under the sun. And there is so much as too much training. Why are you looking at your
Oh, am I looking at my producer? I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
This is what he does. This is what he does.
This is his villain story. I'm
This
not
is-
joking.
this
He's
is why
going
he
to come
bullies
at you
me.
so hard. Yeah.
I bully you?
You bully me.
You're asking for it. I'm nervous for what is going
I'm sorry.
to happen.
You bully me.
This goes out to Letitia, who is our Brazilian intern. Please pull up all the clips of Peyton bullying me. Thank you
They don't
very
exist.
much.
You're not gonna see them because they don't exist.
You got the
Oh,
promotion. It's only going to get worse.
I'm sorry for Peyton interrupting you, Teresa.
I am so fine with it. Don't hurt me.
It's really interesting though, like the delusion.
Yeah, delusional confidence. It's
And-
funny. It's a West Coast thing.
It is. It is a West Coast
Yeah.
thing because I don't ever hear about it on the East Coast as much.
No.
Out
I-
here,
We talk about you guys in New York.
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
We do an exercise where I'm literally like, all right, LA delusional confidence, let's go. And everyone just turns it on. Because you see so many actors in all these shows, and it's like, they may not be like the most interesting actors to watch. Like they may not be making intelligent, brilliant choices or like really making you like, wow, that was superior. But they sure are confident.
Yeah. Is everything okay with the soundboard?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. Sorry,
Yeah.
it cut out for a second.
It did, yeah.
Okay,
No,
cool.
it's okay. But they sure are confident in those choices. And there's something to be said for that. right? Because if they believe it so much, us watching, we're going to buy it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of there's a space for those people.
There is.
Just not in my class.
Yeah. It's hard to work with people like that in terms
Yes.
of developing them further. I think there needs to be there has to be a kind of like a bottom of the barrel moment where you're like, oh, that's not working actually, and they see their colleagues like nodding, oh yeah, it's not working, and they're like, no, okay, I'll try it again, and it's not working, and they can't use their same tricks that they've always used.
Yeah.
And they're forced either to, try something new and
Yeah.
evolve, or they keep trying to do the same thing, expecting different results.
And pushing, and it
Yeah.
just gets worse and worse. Yeah.
This is such an amazing art form because it encompasses such a deep connection with the human psyche,
Yeah.
and it's all encompassing. And not to negate any other type of art forms like sculpting, painting, music. Those are also complex and dynamic, but there's something, I don't know, very personal about acting for the artist that I feel a lot of times goes a little bit deeper. Deeper. I think that's a new word I just made.
Nice.
Thank you. It goes deeper than other art forms. And it's hard to, not hard, but whenever you're coaching, because everybody's different, you have to calibrate with every single person
Yes.
differently
Yes.
for their wants, their needs, the project. There's so many factors
Yeah,
that go
there's
into play.
so many. Yeah, their abilities, their training, how long they've been with me,
The day.
technique, the day, the weather, but mostly, like how that particular project and the scene work is really speaking to them. Everyone is so different, and whether they're just like brand new, super green, or I love every type. Like if you've been like my actors from NYU, I have like in my New York class, I have like 80% NYU grads.
Wow.
Just working on themselves.
Great.
And just it's really interesting to see people who have great foundations versus people who are just coming in green, coming off of like I work with a lot of stand-up comics now who are coming into TV film work, and it's really fun.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I have like 4 right now that I just started working with recently.
Wow. Are they really established stand-up comics or just kind of like on the, I don't want to say
They're
amateur.
very successful
Okay.
in New York. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why is it fun?
Because they are so sharp and witty and just instinct. They're used to being able to like think on their toes, and I love that.
Yeah.
It is so nice.
Do you watch any stand-up comedians you like?
No.
Really?
Well, I was a big George Carlin fan. I saw him live when I was in high school, and it was the greatest show I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
What
one
about
of the
you?
greats. Oh yeah, I listen to a lot of stand-up comics.
Oh, that's cool.
Right off the top of my head, Bill Burr, big fan of Bill Burr. Oh my God, now I can't remember any of them. Goodness gracious.
I'm surprised.
I
you
love
picked
Louis
John-
C.K. Like, I
John
know
Lu-
he got canceled, but I
Yeah.
used to really love going to see his shows.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Louis C.K. Who else? Oh my God, John Mulaney. He's like an
Oh
old
yes,
school.
of course. Yeah. He did a TV show with like a bunch of our kids. Like there's a lot of prep kids on his TV show he did.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, now I'm totally forgetting about all the the comedians I've ever listened to. Oh my gosh, this is quite embarrassing.
They're all on the roasts.
Oh, Tony Hinchcliffe, Kill Tony. Are you familiar with this?
Was he the one on the Tom Brady roast?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know Kill Tony at all? His podcast.
No, I don't. Was he the
my
one that came
God.
out of the audience
Who?
for the roast?
Tony Hinchcliffe?
Yeah. Was
I
he
don't know.
sitting in the audience and then he came up on stage?
I don't know if he
There
did
were
or
a lot
not.
of really good new guys that I didn't know on that roast.
Okay, yeah, I just saw the clips of the highlights of the roast, but so Tony Hinchcliffe hosts the show called Kill Tony, and what I like about it is he gives from a bucket, like over 200 comedians sign up, they get 1 minute, and this is their chance to explode. Now, if you're good, if you're really good and special, you become you become a regular on the show. You start opening up for them. Your career takes off. I mean, they've changed the lives of like a lot of comedians
That is so cool.
and set them up. Now, on the other side of that, if you're terrible
No.
and don't take it seriously, this is not for the faint of heart, by the way. I mean, it's Brutalsville. I mean,
Oh my
this last
God.
episode, I think. Do you listen to it, Peyton? I forget.
Every now and then I'll tune into an episode.
Oh my God, I had to stop doing my housework, and I was just like, I was like holding on to something. I was just like, ugh, I can't. This guy is getting like ripped apart, and people bomb on there, and he's not like merciful at all when you come up there, because you have to understand these are the rules.
Yeah. Wow.
Let's see what you got. And one of their most popular episodes, you know who Adam Ray is?
If I Googled it,
Okay.
yes.
He does these like great characters and everything. I think this is their most popular episode. They had Shane. Oh my God, Shane. What's his last name? Shane Gillis. Yeah.
Oh, I love that guy.
Oh, then listen to the Shane Gillis comes on in full Trump, like attire, and then
Amazing.
Adam Ray is in full Biden, and they did an episode as them as the guests, and it is
Oh
by
my
far
God.
the funniest episode of Kill Tony ever. I mean, that show it went up to over 10 million views, I believe,
I'm
right
gonna
now.
look that up when I leave here.
Oh my God. I think I've watched it now twice, and I'm still laughing at it. It's so good. They have
Epic.
William Montgomery. He's just literally an insane person on the show as well.
Nice.
Yeah. It just crazy. I love it. So I get a lot of inspiration out of them, because you are right. There's something about these stand-up comedians. They're sharp, they're witty, they're alive. It doesn't feel false, and it's real. And I'm like, that should translate to my acting. It should always feel dangerous.
They are so brave. They have the biggest balls out of anyone. Truly.
Yeah.
They've seen it all. They're savage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like feeling dangerous actors. Like, I
Yes.
don't know what they're going to do.
Yes. Unpredictable.
Yes.
It's exciting.
Now, okay, here's something that I've run into by a lot of actors. They ask me this question. Where's the balance of being dangerous, unpredictable, but still being true to the script and the words?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, it's kind of the Wild West right now in the industry. There's kind of no rules, in case you haven't noticed. Self-tapes like being polished and like perfect, and there's none of that anymore. Messy is good, weird is great, messy's fun. I would say the balance is, you get your character description and then you add 5 to 10 more lines to that and make it your own. And you got to take the writer's hand. You got to tell their story, right? But don't do what you think they want to do. Okay? They want to see. Don't do what they think that you think that they want to see. I can't. It's been a day. It's
okay.
happening.
I know what you're saying.
I'm fading fast. But it's disaster mode. What was the question? I do this in class often. By like 9 p.m., I'm shot, brain dead.
No, I appreciate you doing it, by the way, after all these
Of course,
things.
of course.
The question was that balance between it being really dangerous and honoring the script, because
Yeah.
sometimes it's like, well, they told us not to ad-lib, or they told us not to, like, am I allowed to break this screen direction or not?
Yeah. Well, who tells you not to ad lib anymore? Are people saying that?
In
No.
some, oh yeah, well, in some breakdowns I've seen. That's
Really?
Yeah, in some breakdowns.
Oh.
And here's the thing I've come
Gotcha.
across, not in the prep courses, but other
Yeah.
like in-person classes I've taken. When I've given that allowance, some people take too much advantage and don't even memorize. Like,
Oh,
it
well, that's
becomes,
not cool.
It's like ad-libbing. Literally, the line is jumbled up and it's just different. And I'm
no.
like, no, you
That's a
took
bit
it too
too much.
far.
Yeah, it's a bit
No,
too much.
Come back.
Especially with comedy, like it's written that way for a reason, especially if there's like musicality in the scene that you have to stay true to. Like
Yes.
that's important as well. I think it's just using common sense. Like if you are like, there's not really like a sophisticated art to it. I think it's really just like going with your gut and like really like, okay, who's on the team here? Who's on the creative team here? Are they going to be cool? Look at their work and kind of like get a vibe for them.
Yeah.
And if it's like a big network thing, you might want to stay true to the text. But you still got to get them in the first 10 seconds or they're not going to keep watching.
See, I love that answer because there is no rules.
Yeah,
There is
no
no
rules.
set rule of you have to this time. It's just everywhere and nowhere at once. Mm-hmm. I've been on network shows where they're like, word perfect.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm just going to ad-lib here.
Yeah.
And then it worked.
Yeah.
And they kept it. And it's like, well, now, how do I explain that to like a student? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
It really has to be organic. Like it can't be like, I'm going to make 5 more lines for myself in this movie. Like
Right.
it has to make sense. like relax, everyone. But yeah, it's gotta like make sense
Okay,
for you.
this reminds me of a audition story.
Oh,
one of
God.
one of my friends, and he's been a guest on the show a few times. His name is Dean Cameron. He's an actor.
Cool.
You'll recognize him from one of his famous '80s films. Is Ski School? No, Summer School.
Cool.
Okay. Anyway, he auditioned for Oliver Stone. Right. Big deal.
Yes.
And he prepared this entire like monologue. Do you guys remember this?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, a monologue.
Yeah, like it was a huge thing.
It was huge. It was a huge like amount of work to memorize.
Damn.
He gets in there, and Oliver Stone's like, just do like the last part or like the first part. And he's like, no, I want to do all of it.
Wow.
And Oliver Stone's like, no, I want you to do this much. And he's like, no, I want to do. Dude, I was like, what?
Holy hell. You gotta pray God is on your side that day. That could, it really truly could go either way, like honestly, but it's probably not gonna go.
No, it didn't go his
Yeah,
way.
yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't think
absolutely
so.
not. No, it's Oliver Stone. Just going buddy. Yeah, the ball's
Wow.
on Dean Cameron for that day. He was a younger actor at the time too, doing that. So
Damn, if only he had an instructor to tell him, you know? If only you were there for him to be like, hey, don't be an asshole.
maybe.
He's got
I've-
so many audition stories.
Yeah, he is. I
Cool.
mean, honestly, yeah, you should definitely meet him sometime. I have been a complete asshole though to him recently. I don't feel bad at all. Actually, it brings me great joy, and I'll tell you why. I've been sending him reels. Have you ever got sent a reel where they're like, they're somebody's like at bat, and then the baseball comes toward the camera and you flinch?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. I hate that. I hate it so much.
I am constantly getting him with those reels.
If you ever send me one, I will come and kill you. Because it wakes you up. If you're like relaxing and you're chilling and you're like, oh, yeah, no, it like ruins your life. It will ruin your evening.
I know, and I'm ruining his evening
Damn
constantly.
you for that.
I know, I love it.
God, you're
And I'm
so
not even there to see it,
terrible.
but I feel it in his messages. And I'm like, it makes me feel good. I don't know why.
Oh, man, you got issues, dude.
I know.
Yeah, it's hysterical, though.
I know. Are we good on the commercial?
We're not there yet.
All right, I'm just making sure. It's all good. I trust you. I'm just making sure because we're having a good time. It's all, you do a great job, Alex. Round of applause for Alex.
Woo! Yeah, y'all.
You never mention me.
What's that?
He never mentions me.
Oh my
it's
God.
a running joke. It's a running joke. It's mostly between them
Theresa.
two. And now it feels sarcastic.
She's being dramatic. I mention her
You're
constantly.
turning them into evil villains. This is going to be a thing for you now.
Teresa, do not take their side.
I'm sorry.
Everyone
You know what?
So
I
always
just,
happens. Everybody always
I
takes their
can't.
side. Every single time.
You know what? It's because they're in the corner and they're kind of like they're almost in a closet, and I feel bad.
Well, and he's also just a bad person. So you know what? It's just the way it is.
Aw, he's not a
You
bad
reap what you
person.
sow, and that's okay.
First of all, that's a cozy corner.
It's okay. It's dark. It's fold-out chairs.
You want a light?
When could we get a cushy chair?
You want a cushy chair?
I
You
could
have
take
folding
a cushy
chairs?
chair.
Wait.
Yeah.
No. Teresa, hold
Oh
up.
my-
Who
what
gave
is
you a
that?
cushion
What do you mean?
Wow.
in your house? Who gave you a purple cushion for your
Oh, I'm
butt?
using it. Thank you for that.
Bring it here then.
That's a lot of work, dude.
Oh my lord.
That's a lot of work.
a lot of drama
It's
you're
got a
coming
good
into.
home right now, and
Oh, yeah?
it's being put to use every single day.
All right. My blood pressure's high. Oh my gosh. We're silly billies here.
Yeah.
What's
good-
bringing
good time.
What's bringing you happiness nowadays?
Ooh, happiness. Well, the industry's back a little bit,
Yeah.
which is exciting. I would say like I have a lot of new clients that have been very exciting to work with. And just seeing them react to like if they come to class for the first time and like reacting to like the other actors who have been there for like, a year or so, reacting to their work and realizing, I think it's just like the awakening of like, oh wow, there's a different way to do this. And there's, if they're so used to being told, no, you can't, no, and like, that's not right, and it's like, oh, actually I can make my own choices when I go on set, and like I can make my own choices when I come to class, and I don't have to like sit around being told what to do. I think that is bringing me happiness lately.
That's cool.
Yeah, watching people like see that there's a different way. Yeah.
Are you finding actors who find joy in the actual work to find better results?
Yes.
And if so, how? I mean, I know that might sound like a silly question, but maybe for people to reignite that fire of like enjoying, like what would you recommend for actors with that? Like how to find joy in the work again when it's frustrating for them, especially in their beginning stages? And we'll answer this question right after the commercial break. And we're back. So yeah, I'm just curious, like how does one learn to find joy in their work again when it's become so frustrating?
Yeah, letting go, and just finding yourself in the work. Like, stop trying to be someone else. You know, usually you find frustration when you're like trying to be a different character, you're trying to be someone that you're not. And the second that you just let go and you're just you with all of these circumstances in your life and just like really use your imagination, go back to play and using the imagination, it's like back to basic stuff, simplifying it. It's not like some complicated, like, you know, Pythagorean theorem, right? It's like, it's common sense. It's like, how am I feeling? And allowing yourself to feel. And really, like, you know, it's crazy to think about, like, most people walk around and are just numb all day. You know? And really allowing yourself to, like, hey, I want to just dig deep and just be a dick in this scene. I want to dig deep and just like feel what it feels like. I had a girl today for the first time at the prep. She's 15 years old, and she said, I told her, we did a take, it was an exercise, and I said, okay, and this, let's just say you were on set, and the director just said, I just want you to be confident, like crazy confident in this take. And she was like, okay. That's it. That was the only redirect, right? And after she did it, she was like, I loved feeling confident because I'm not confident in my regular life. And I was like, okay, queen, yes. Like, this 15-year-old girl is not confident in her regular life, but like was able to do that in a scene and feel what that felt like. And it was so empowering and just so beautiful to watch her like explore that.
Yeah.
You know, like, who knows what she's going to do with that.
What about the opposite end when people feel too much and they feel like any which way the wind is blowing, they go to the extreme about how do you fix that?
Yeah, like overly confident?
No, like overly affected by the feelings of or by outside circumstances, like you know, if the wind slightly blows this way, they're on this extreme of, you know, their emotions. If things go, if just the slightest thing goes bad, they're like, no, you know what I mean? I don't know if you've ever encountered
Who
that
are you
before.
who are you talking about? Do you have students like that? Who are just like highly affected by
yeah, I'm trying to give a very specific example.
yeah.
And some of the examples that are popping up are from unresolved personal issues that they haven't really encountered yet.
Yeah.
And then other ones are habits where, they need, I'm going to be really intense in this scene because that worked in my other scene, and that's all I'm going to keep doing is just bring this intensity. It's like you're always at a 10, man, and you need to bring it a little bit back.
You need to remember that yelling is not an emotion. Crying is not an emotion. And you need to make smarter choices and dig deeper into what's really going on. You need to do the vocal work. Everybody who works with me knows I'm a psycho about the voice for a reason. Vocal work is everything. And that stems from the breath work. I work with a lot of Disney actors, like ex-Disney stars, who are now going into like YA and like edgier, like cool, like A24 type stuff, and are learning to just throw it away. And you'll hear that a lot in like casting director callbacks and producer director sessions. Like, you'll hear, just throw it away. And it's like, well, what does throw it away really mean?
Yeah.
Don't vocally act every line out. Stop pushing the writing. Just really just let it fall out of your mouth. Do not affect it. And it's an exercise, and it's just incredible to watch people like really, really find that for themselves and find their true speaking voices.
Do you ever encounter an awareness problem with actors? Self-awareness?
Oh, yeah, self-aware, yeah, for sure.
Because I think the workshop we're doing might be, well, yeah, it should air today, I guess, the workshop.
Oh,
is the
Thursday, we're doing a workshop.
Self-tape
physicality.
Yeah.
Yeah, so being too self-aware, if you are filming your self-tapes in selfie mode, it is 2024. Get it together. stop filming in selfie mode.
Peyton. No, I'm kidding.
Because I immediately know, like, I'll get like new actors I work with, and I'm like, hey, just send me some self tapes you're proud of. You know, I want to see your work and just see what you're going through. You know, what's going on in your self tapes situation. It's like bad lighting. They have like all this crazy space above their heads. They're too far away from the camera. If you're so far away from the camera and you're not booking anything, gee, I wonder why. Because you're yelling your lines. You're projecting so much emotionally because the camera is like 6-7 feet away from you. Everyone knows when I tape at the studio, we're right here.
Yeah.
And I'm right here. And we're having conversation. We're connecting. Because when you get on set, the camera's right here. It's right here. It's wherever, right?
Yeah.
So being too self-aware is really, a lot of it is breath work, actually. And being able to just really like let go, give yourself, I always do like a physical action at the top of the scene to get them out of their head. So like I'll have them run in place or do jumping jacks or just like push-ups, whatever it is, and then just like come into the scene and just like maybe you run into the scene, or maybe you come in and you're pushing against the wall really, really hard, and then you come into the scene. So it gets them out of their head and really like into the reality. Their body is just connected and their mind is just right there.
I am stunned by the amount of actors who don't come warmed up.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
I'm like, well, you didn't warm up.
Yeah.
Now we have to warm up.
Yeah.
We're wasting time warming up.
Yeah.
Let's warm up beforehand. Like,
Yeah.
here's some exercises you can do.
Mm-hmm.
What do we, like, this is an instrument. You wouldn't just, like, imagine you're an athlete. Athletes
Yeah.
warm up.
Yeah, and also on that same note, like if you're an Olympic skier and you take 6 months off training, are you still going to be at the top of your game after 6 months? No. And then you get the self-tape request of a lifetime, and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And that's how it happens, guys. I see it all the time. People think they can take time off, and they're like, yeah, I'll just take 3 months. I'll go, do this, blah, blah, blah. Because then you get the role of a lifetime. And if you had been in class, if you had been training, if you had been working on yourself, you would not be in that situation.
Yeah. I don't know if your workshops also encompass this, but I've noticed sometimes my acting teacher in college would be like, this is going to sound crazy, but the problem a lot of actors in my college school had, they had the game plan. I'm going to stick to this reaction, and everything's planned out.
Oh, yeah.
And whatever you do, it doesn't matter. These are the reactions I'm giving. And she would yell out, he's pissing on your boots. React. And it's this living in the moment thing. They're in their head, like, I'm supposed to be here in this moment, and they're not connecting.
I see that so much with the actors that are coming out of like the big conservatory programs. They're just like overthinking everything. Like you can just see they're just like all over the place and just like, well, I don't think that's right. There's no right or wrong in acting. It's art. It's subjective, right? There's no better than, right? It's just the strongest read that you can do, right? It's how deep can you go, So a lot of actors, what were we just talking about again?
No, it's okay. The living in the moment, like reacting.
Oh, yes.
Off of
Okay,
their,
so
like, somebody's pissing on your boots, but you're still going, hey, what's up?
Yes. So every time you go to plan something out,
Yeah.
it's going to be so much more interesting every single time if you just trust your scene partner and let it live. You can plan all day. And think like, oh, I'm going to do this here, and I'm going to hit this mark, and I'm going to do all this in my self-tape. But if you're really living it and you're surprising yourself, you're being spontaneous, you're reacting on instinct and impulse, it's going to be so much more interesting to watch than if you had planned it out and you're like this like robot doing all the, well, I'm going to go here now. It's like, come on.
Okay. So, by the way, for this morning show, it was the first in-person callback I had since COVID.
Congratulations. What was that like going in the room?
Oh, my God. It was great. And here's why.
Good.
Because I prefer in-person.
Nice.
I get to connect. And that casting office, they're so real when they read with you. They give you what
beautiful.
you need. And this is actually going into my question that I had. But there was a lot of improv involved.
Love.
It was same day, few hours. I had to be there. And I was like, cool. And they gave me 3 extra scenes to go over. And so, when you're telling actors, to prepare and be able to memorize quick and
Yeah,
like, be ready
yeah.
to go. I mean, this is what we're talking about. The opportunity comes. You got to be ready for it.
Beautiful.
She connected with me so well, and there was no like bullshit. It was just real.
Love.
And I didn't have to act. I was bringing me in there.
Awesome.
And reacting naturally. And she would throw out like improv lines or whatever, and we'd just go with it. It felt alive. It felt great.
Nice.
What happens though? What do you recommend to actors when they face a casting director, or they're on a Zoom or in person, whatever it is? Nothing.
Yeah, this has been happening a lot actually recently. It happened twice to one of my young adult females, and what we do is when we prep for a producer director session, we prep on Zoom. So if it's on Zoom, we prep for it. If it's in person, I make them come to class so that they can read that work in front of a live audience, and also feel like everybody acts as like they're the Netflix producers. Here's the casting, like everyone, like when you come in, you're commanding the space, and like you're working on like how do you go from the chat into the scene work, right? Because that's a big shift too. But we prep on Zoom, and if I always do bad reader. I always do bad reader, because you never know, and it can if you're not ready for it. It can really mess with you. And I have this one student she booked the movie, and the reader was actually reading. We thought we were being punked because she records everything. I mean, I ask all my students to always like tape their producer director sessions so they can watch them back and see like, what did I miss? What did I slay? Like, how was it? Like, because you're so in the moment, you miss things that people are saying to you. So the voice was literally this. Well, I'm saying my line like this, and I'm saying my next line like this, and I'm saying my next line. Did not look up once. Twice she got this reader. Twice. And she booked it. And I thought what was the most interesting thing for me to watch was like how my actor reacted to that. Because it was like, just watch, didn't blink an eye, was so in it, so committed, heard the text and reacted. That's it. Stay in it. Don't go off the energy. Go off the text. Okay, so if you're with someone who's like really good, like going crazy or whatever it is, or like giving you nothing, right? Stick with the text and stay with what's true and really connect.
That is the best answer I've heard to that question. So I'm really glad to hear that, and for our listeners to hear that. That is so helpful because you have to stay present.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about, I don't like the way I said that line or something like you're all over the place.
Sabotage.
All over
Stay
the place.
focused. Stay focused. Do not also, a big thing that I'm doing with my actors this year is we're testing ourselves mentally. Can I not go on my phone for 12 hours before my callback? What would it be like if I didn't go on social media for 6 hours before my big self-tape? What if when I was in the waiting room for my screen test, I wasn't scrolling through my phone? Everyone is so present.
That's. I feel like that should be common sense.
Yeah, but it's not.
Oh my God.
Yeah. If you go back, you look at the work, and like I was born in '82, so I grew up watching like some of the greatest films ever, and it's like I go back and I watch them now, and I watch the kids in particular, and everyone was so present. The teens, the young adults, so present, like not having to like be anywhere, not thinking about anything else, not like thinking about the next thing they're going to say. They were just in it,
These phones are ruining imagination.
Yeah, they really are.
They're ruining boredom.
Yeah, they are.
Boredom is so crucial, I feel, for children
It is.
and
yeah.
teenagers. I'm like, you should be bored.
Yeah.
And use your imagination to keep you entertained.
Yes.
Because then it gets stronger. It gets more vivid. I think I brought this up before when I was.
So true.
Oh, I'll tell you guys what how are we? By the way, how are we on the soundboard battery?
Maybe like 10 more minutes.
Can we do that?
Something. Yeah.
Okay, cool. We've had some faulty stuff that we need to address. Not Peyton's fault. I hope that didn't come off as Peyton's fault.
Poor Peyton.
He was trying to blame me for it.
I was
Poor
not.
bastard.
Yeah, caught him in the lie.
Well, listen, our time on Adobe has come to an end. However, the full show can be listened to and watched tomorrow morning on YouTube and everywhere you listen to podcasts. Thank you. Make sure you follow at the Prep NY, at the Prep
NJ. Yeah.
And
we have 2 Instagram accounts now. And I did secretly make a Prep in LA, but I haven't posted anything yet.
Okay.
But soon.
Soon. Thank you for coming on, Theresa. The show
Always.
continues on. Okay, so I used to look out the window when we would go on road trips.
Yeah.
And I didn't have my headphones, or I was the batteries on my Tetris, or was it Game Boy?
Game Boys.
That died. So I'd literally just look out the window, and you ever see that movie, Bug's Life? 95?
Yes.
Okay. I would imagine, when you're on the side of the highway, all the different greenery, and I'd be like, oh, I wonder what that tree would be like if it was in a bug's life, and I would just imagine these different landscapes being with different bugs and stuff,
awesome.
like a weirdo. But
You're good.
but
It's all good.
I'm imagining this stuff, and whenever I would listen to music, I would vividly imagine choreographed fight scenes or stories
Sick.
with them, like cinematics things. I still do it to this day, and I feel like that's helped me so much as an actor to be
Beautiful.
really specific
Yeah.
in what am I imagining, especially with, man, what's your environment?
Yes.
What's around you? Please be specific. I
Beautiful.
see actors walking into their apartment, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't believe you.
We talked about this the last time. Environment work is
Oh, did we?
everything.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
I think it's crucial. I think it stems from Uta Hagen. She talks about
My favorite in the world ever.
she specifically works on environment for weeks and weeks with actors.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's what you need. If you're looking down the hallway, I have to believe that there's a hallway down there.
Yeah.
If you're giving a glance or whatever, I'm like, I don't believe you. And I'll tell you what, ever since I've been teaching, my sensitivity to seeing an actor be in it versus when they drop out of it is
Yeah.
crystal clear.
Good.
And I go, there, right there.
Yep.
What happened there? They're like, I fell out of it. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
What happened though? Why?
Yeah.
I know that's very exciting. I get really pumped up about that.
Yes, and that helps your work as an actor
It does.
so much.
I'm doing it for selfish reasons.
I'm glad.
I'm such a
For
selfish
you.
teacher. JK.
You know you work for me, right?
Oh,
this
shit.
is
Oh,
guy-
no. I'm kidding. We can edit that, right? I'm kidding.
He's kidding. He wants all of you to book.
Of course I do.
Book with theprepnj.com/Wesam. Book a session today.
There's actually one of the best feelings is watching one of your clients get that call back or book it. You're
Yep.
boom.
It's the greatest feeling ever.
And watching them get so excited, like, it worked.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I know. Isn't it cool?
Yeah. I have a 7-year-old in Now You See Me 3. She's playing this ridiculous, sick role in Now You See Me 3. And she said she sent me a video after she found out she booked it. And she was in her pajamas. And she was like, Miss Reese, I just want to tell you, I would do this. This is why I do this all the time. And she's like, I would give up everything. I would give up seeing my brothers. And I just want to just do this forever. And I was like, I can retire now.
Wow.
We're good. I love it so much.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Teresa,
Yeah.
I love you.
Love you. You're the best.
You're the best. I love your work ethic. I love your energy. I love what
you.
you bring out to the world,
You
to actors and
too.
artists. Seriously, you're a very special person, and
Thank you so much.
I'm honored to be part of the Prep.
So honored to have you.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see you in Morning Show.
Me too.
My favorite show. One of my favorite shows.
Boom.
So excited.
I'm excited for our workshop too. Always love doing
Yes.
those with you.
Yes.
Cool. Play us out, Peyton. Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the show. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube to subscribe to us. Also follow at Theresa Pittius, right?
Yeah.
That's it. The Prep NJ, the Prep NY, and soon the Prep LA as well. Book a coaching session with any of the wonderful coaches there. Seriously, everybody there is top notch. And with that being said, thank you to my wonderful producers. Hey, congrats again, Peyton, for the big Adobe gig. Yeah, seriously, congrats. Always remember to listen, think, and then talk. Bye.